Internet, Hiboson here. I've done an unboxing video for my lovely little 3D printer that's behind me here. This is something I ordered from China. It's a Shenzhen Sunhokey Electronics Co Limited. It's a Prusa, and they call it the S series. But I'm basically going to go through this box again and just take all the bits out, and I'm going to be basically doing the check sheet, and then I will do another build, another video later for the build. Start getting this out of the box, really. Now, rather than put the box here and try and unbox it and leave me no room to do anything, alright, let's just open this box up a bit like this. First things that I find in the box here are 2 reels of filament. You can choose whether you want that to be PLA or ABS. They have a range of about 10-11 colours to choose from. So this is my black PLA. I went with PLA for both my reels, so that's the black one. Here's the power lead. Here's my check sheet, and I've got a lovely little list here of all the various things that should be in there. Power lead. There's my other reel of red filament. Right. Let's bring this. Let's try. Okay, so what we have here, some PE tape, 10mm, have cable ties, 20 pieces, little mini measuring tape, 2 pulley wheels, T25 belt, unilateral roller, 12 of, coupling 2 of, I'm assuming that's these, tweezers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Allen keys, or hex wrenches as they like to call them, 4 bulldog clips as we call them, but they call them attaching clamps, 4 of, 3 meters of winding pipe, wrench, USB lead, a nice blank kind of, yeah, God knows what's on there. That's going through a virus scanner before it goes on. No offense to the guys at that, but I have no idea what's on that. So that's going through a virus scanner. That's Bowden tubing. PA tube as it calls it. Yep. M3x8 screw, 16 pieces, that looks about right. 3x10, about 24 pieces, probably right. I will count them later. M3x12 should be 24 pieces. M3x16, 55 pieces, yep, definitely a lot more of them. M3x18, 10 pieces, yeah, so that's about that. M3x25, 4, yep, that's definitely 4. M3x30, 2 of. M3 nuts, oh, they're in the other one, so 4x12s, 36 pieces, yeah, there's quite a few in there. M4x35, 4 of, yes, and 4x25 is that? Doesn't say, it's only 2 of them. M5x25, yeah. So they were pretty good. So what they did, they put them in little bags. Let's get the pencil out of my mouth. And wrote on there like 3x8, and then 3x10, etc, etc, to help you kind of get through it. Obviously I still have to count all the individual units of them, but looking at it, they're basically there. I like the fact they put them in their little bags in this bag, so if any one of those little bags I suppose gave up the ghost, then at least it was still going to be in a slightly larger bag, so they're not flying around everywhere. 4 springs, yep, they're down as heated bed spring times 4. I knew what they were for, I just had to find them on the list. M5 butt nuts, M5 nuts, M5 washers, M4 times 4, M4 washers times 10, 4 little nuts there for doing the adjusting bed. I think they could be what's called the M3 flange nut. shed load. A very small, looks like M3s. 90 pieces it says here, and I don't know if I go as far as saying there's 90 there, but I could be wrong. And then this big ass selection of nuts, washers and C-rings. So they look like, I had a guess about, let's see, M7, M8, probably M8. Got M8 jump ring, hex nut and shims, 12 of each, which is probably about right. This is my lovely acrylic kit. Now, it's supposed to be clear, and this is not a trick of the light. It is transparent, but yes, it's pink. I have emailed them about that. I have said I wanted, you know, there was that, and when I was asking questions about the colour of the acrylics, they said it was clear and they could do black as well. Although, don't hold me to that, they can change their mind on that. Obviously, this is just at the time I messaged them. I went for the clear, and although I thought black would look cooler, I went for the clear because I know people out there like yourselves who are probably watching this video are thinking of possibly buying this printer, and when you look at it on the pictures online, you see it as a clear Prusa 3D printer. But that's why on AliExpress I don't click the item received etc until I am 100% happy. So that's a bonus with that, because it's held in escrow, the payments. By doing it this way, although I have received it, I've not hit received yet because they don't get their money until I hit that button, and I'm giving them a chance to correct it before they get the money. So it's a nice little thing. I don't hold it, you know, it's wrong to hold it over their head for extra things when you're not deserving of them. But when there is an actual problem where they do get something wrong, then it's quite handy. So that's why I like kind of using AliExpress. Plus, because of the escrow system, only AliExpress themselves take my card details, and it's not handed out to random people in China and other countries. Let's have a little look at this. There is a few little marks. This is where I now find out it is actually clear. Because look at this. Is this protective coating? Am I being a dickhead? Well, that came off of there. So this is where I've now just gone through all that spiel, and this is where I now find out I'm a complete dickhead. Yes, I'm a complete dickhead. I am a muppet. I am a numpty. I am a moron. I probably smell a bit, but it is actually clear. Thing is, when I first received it, I had a look to see if that was a plastic coating, because I know a lot of acrylic does come with plastic coating, because where it's been laser cut, it was so perfectly up to the edges. It was only just that one piece there where it caught a little scratch that I actually detected it had a protective coating on. I will mail them once I've finished shooting this video, apologise and call myself a muppet. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. Now I know I haven't got a pink one. I'm just having a look now at the rest of the pieces. Tiny little crack on that one, but it's not broken through or anything. And it is an actual crack, it's not me being stupid again. The heated bed. Ooh. There we go. It says do not touch, but obviously it's not wired up right now. I'm not thick. Yes, I'm just going through all of these bits and checking for cracks and breaks, because if I'm going to message him back going I've been a thickard, then I best make sure that if I say I've been a thickard, but here we have, you can see my strip light there, and then if I angle it you can see my soft box over there, and then maybe my socks box over here. Ooh. Anyway, that's the, in theory, Boro glass. Boromite, I think it's called. I used to work in a glass factory, and it's nice bevel edged, polished edge. So that could be a, it's not float at least, so it's probably toughened. I think it could be toughened, so yeah. I used to work in a glass factory actually making toughened glass. Well, the glass came in untoughened, we cut it to size, put it through a toughening plant and do that, so I know my glass a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. There's a shed load of parts. I don't know if any are missing, but where they've laser cut out the Prusa i3, I've got the little R under a 3. Oh.
Look, Matt, I have a 3D printer.
That's the main frame of the printer. But I'm glad to report, it looks like, from my quick initial check, that none of the acrylic parts are broken on this. There's one tiny little crack I've detected on one of the pieces. Unfortunately, I didn't find any more little letters. Shame, it would have been quite cool to have them all. But I've got an R3, so that's kind of cool. Don't know why that's cool, but it is. And the fact that it's actually clear. The protective clear coatings, one was clear, one's pink. The next stage is mainly a lot of the mechanical parts and what have you. So what we have here, 2 fans, a small fan, a box fan, a little 3D printed shroud, because that goes onto this, goes on there, and that blows out then out onto your piece you're printing. Small fan, turbine fan, printed fan piece. Right, what's next? Easy to tick off item, and a large one, so I don't have to zoom in. 1 power supply. Now luckily that power supply, oh, let me just take it back out enough there, runs on the little screw in type connectors. The bonus is where I didn't ask for the UK spec plug in when purchasing this, which is my mistake, not theirs. They sent me a Euro plug, but luckily as it just takes out, I can take any 3-pin UK plug that I've got. Just, you know, I've got loads and loads of the kettle lead types. Chop the ends off, strip, boom, ready to go. This is a thermistor and wire. So that's the thermistor. Where is it? What we have here is some of the lateral sliders. So this will go onto the rods and help it and glide along the rods. And we have these larger ones, and in here inside this bag some smaller ones. 2 of the larger ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the smaller ones. So box type slider long 2 and medium 6. This is the hot end with thermistor and heat box and etc. Because the other thermistor would have been for the hotbed, as far as I'm aware. This is what, as far as I'm aware, is called a J-type head. There we go. It's slightly different to the other heads they gave me, because they have like a little box end and what have you. The ones they kind of gave me free, as it well, not free, I technically paid for them, but I didn't pay a lot for them. Have, by the look of it, interchangeable ends, etc. This is all one piece end, but it is looking a lot better quality than these. But it doesn't hurt to have some freebie heads, basically. That's the connector piece for there. Alright, what's next? This here is the control board. I'll need to careful not to cut the wires in. So that's got 2 wires coming off the back there to go into connectors, which are obviously going to go to the control board. Where you can see we've got the board with the rotary encoder on it there. Looks like a little piezo buzzer. A reset switch, I'm assuming, and luckily on the back it also does come with the SD card reader. Now the bonus for that is if I want to do all the work indoors and get all the models sorted, but I'm going to print out here, then I just have to bring an SD card out. I don't have to lug a laptop out and leave a laptop running whilst trying to print. When I looked at this originally, I was hoping when it said it came with the control board. I know there are some out there that don't come with the SD card reader standard. Usually it's just nothing more than a £4 or £5 little add-on you can get, but for me it was quite important to have that ability because I didn't want to tie up a laptop or something like that being continuously designated purely for 3D printing and being tied up with that. So what's next? First off, there's some weird little, covered in fluff, 3D printed parts. Little kind of H-shaped 3D printed parts. I have no idea what these are for. What else have we got here? So these are the end stops. I'll just open one of them. Again, being very careful not to cut the wires included. I've got a cable with the little connector on each end that goes into, one of them goes into this board. And all this board is a little switch, so when it gets to the end of travel, it does that and it clicks it and stops it moving the motors any further. So we've got 1, 2, 3 of them. Well, that thermistor I found earlier I think was the gift thermistor with line because it has some extra wire, because in here I have another thermistor. Thermistor is this tiny, I don't know if it'll focus even, there we go. This tiny little kind of little beadlet thing there, and that is what detects the temperatures, which tells things how hot stuff is. Basically it's a kind of like a resistor in there that basically will change its resistance depending on the temperature. So also in the bag with this thermistor is another couple of acrylic pieces and another piece of tubing, but very small. That looks like the piece that would go into a hot end at the feed piece. In here, although this one looks like it was cut open already, this wasn't me, that's was like how I got it. So I'm hoping this board's good and it's not a return. Let's have a little look. No signs of reflow. No smell of magic blue smoke remnants. So here's hoping it's a good one. This is the actual main brain of the 3D printer. This here is what controls it all. This is the simple control board. So we have all these are the outputs for the stepper motors and various inputs and other elements as well. I don't know exactly what all of the bits on here do yet. I will find that out when I put it together. What next? This here is you put the filament into here. It'll go through that little clamp there, and then that feeds, well, it goes in the bottom here first, sorry, and then comes out of here, and that feeds it to the hot end. Now on some 3D printers this is built into where the head is as well, so it's all like one unit. Some people prefer these, which I think, if I remember rightly, and I might be wrong, Bowden type extruder feeder, and this basically is clamped onto the frame and it feeds it out through a tube into the head. The bonus with this is it takes a lot of the weight off the head, which when the head goes backwards and forwards, when it gets to the end of travel it hasn't got the sudden momentum stop, where then sometimes that can cause the edges to on the print to be slightly misaligned, because just momentum, as a head's travelling at speed, when it wants to stop, it's simple physics that it doesn't want to stop. So they find making the head lighter gives far better quality prints. The only drawback that I don't like about these, and it was when I was at a Maker Fair, I was watching a print that was being done for one of the other people at the Maker Fair there. He had a little TARDIS model, and it was printing and printing, and it was getting really near the end, and it was nearly finished, but it was just on the last little sprig of blue filament he had. Now there would probably been just enough filament to finish the job, but as this was a good 12 plus inches away, then basically what happened was it stopped pushing it and it didn't finish the model. We tried to shove some other filament in to try and help push it along and what have you, but that just didn't catch properly and it failed to print in the end with pretty much just a tiny tip of the TARDIS and the light on the top to go. So if it had been fed at the actual print head end, that probably would have come out and completed. So that's one of the drawbacks to a Bowden type. But apart from that, generally they're considered a better system by some. I still have to figure it out for myself what I prefer. 1, 2, 3, 4 stepper motors. These control your X and Y and Z axis. You have one for the X, one for the Y and 2 for the Z. That's why there's 4 here. They're kind of like a normal motor in some respects, and other turns they turn, but they turn via very precise amounts, and you can control them left and right and do them to a very, very, very specific amount of turn. And that's why they're used, because they can turn to so far, stop and back, stop and back, and that's how they managed to do the 3D printing. So we've got 4 of them. There is a stepper motor on the extruder too, so there's 5 in total in a thing, but 4 for the main movements. Now as I put these back, I have heard in some of the feedback on when looking at buying this printer that 1 or 2 of these might be wired the wrong way around, so that's something I'll have to look into when putting it together. Right, these are the various rods with fluff stuck on them. Just comes from the packing. We have these little gold round things which are for going onto these. Right. So they go on there. The idea is as this turns, it pushes the end up or down, and it's them turning that up and down which does your Z-axis, your up and down. So there we go. So what we have here then will be T8 lead screw plus nut 2 pieces, so I'm assuming that's them 2. 470mm lead screws, them 2. 470mm feed rods, 4, is that correct? Yes. And 340mm feed rods as well. So these rods here are purely going to be used for, there are a couple more threaded rods, they're just to help set things up, but these are the ones which are standard smooth rods, which is what these sort of items, the bits we looked at earlier, will go on. And oh, we had the driver board, yes, one of them. The A4988, which were those little tiny black things, there was 5 of them on there. Now the one that's missing here, it says metal plate. I have a funny feeling, I was thinking, oh, that would be one that will go underneath the heated bed to help that, but I've got a funny feeling it's not that. I think what this is that little metal plate for the J head, for the print head, because I'm pretty sure that's what it meant. Okay, so appears to be, having a quick little nose through this list now, that as best as I can tell, I appear to have everything. So what I'll have to do is I'm going to actually take the disc out of here in 2 seconds, and I'm going to then take that up, obviously give it a quick virus scan and have a good watch through that, because that's supposed to be the how to build it kind of video. What I shall be doing though is when the time comes, which hopefully will be this weekend, I will then try and do a build video as I put this together. So what I find is easy, what I thought was pain in the ass, however you like that. So that shall be hopefully the video after this one. So if you did like this video and you want to see the continuing adventures of me and this 3D printer right here, then click the subscribe button wherever I decide to hide it on the screen, or the one below where it normally is. Hit like if you did like this video. Please leave comments below, or over at Twitter. I'm at Hiboson on Twitter, and I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Catch you later. Bye.